Hello, this is our continuation lecture on OSI model. So let's proceed. Yesterday we were discuss this figure that there are 7 layers present in the OSI model. Under that we learned 3 layers in last lecture. Those are physical layer, data link layer and network layer. Today we are going to learn 4 next layers. Those are transport layer, session layer, presentation layer and application. So let's start with our today's topic. So our 4th layer is nothing but the transport layer. Transport layer provides a service to the application layer, which is a higher layer, and takes a service from the network layer, which is a below layer. Till layer 3, I have explained you that those are the hardware layers, and from transport layer onwards, software layers are starting. The data in the transport layer is referred as a segment. It is responsible for end-to-end delivery of complete message. What do you mean by end-to-end delivery? Yesterday I have told you that network layer responsible for transferring a host to host message transferring, but in the transport layer now I am telling that it is responsible for end-to-end delivery of complete message, because end-to-end means it work on the application to application, but in the network layer it finds only the destination's physical address, and only that destination it sends the data packets. You remember na? Network layer. So difference between network layer and transport layer is that network layer work on the hardware and transport layer directly sends data to the host machine application. So it is work on application layer. Now we understand. Next thing, transport layer also provides an acknowledgement. What type of acknowledgement? That data is delivered to the receiver side. That acknowledgement or retransmission of data is used in the transport layer. If error is found, the retransmission is also possible with the help of transport layer. So now we understand why it is called it as a heart of a OSI layer, OSI model. Okay. So now let's proceed further with functions of transport layer. The first function of transport layer is segmentation and reassembly. This layer accepts the message, cut those message into small segments or small units, and send it by attaching a header to that message. So the receiver can understand which message is first and which message is last. The arrangement is understand with the help of that header part. Okay. Second thing is service point addressing. Service point addressing is also used to find out the proper port address of the machine. Now you understand why service point address is used to find out the port address of that machine. So transport layer is work on port address and the network layer is work on MAC address, which is nothing but the physical address. Okay. So service provided by the transport layer are two: connection oriented and connection less oriented. There are 3 phases to go with the help of connection oriented. Under that, connection we are supposed to establish, because by using a connection oriented connectivity or service, we require some wires, cables to attach to it. So our first phase is to connect the network or create the network with the help of connection establishment. Our second phase is under connection oriented services is data transfer. After completion of making network, we supposed to send our data to the receiver side. And then third thing, after having a proper communication, we need to have disconnect that or terminate that communication link. This is nothing but the connection oriented service. And the connectionless oriented service, no need to any type of acknowledgement, but connection oriented service need a acknowledgement, or it provides a acknowledgement. And in connectionless service, it is a one phase process, so no acknowledgement is occurred, while connectionless service is provided by the transport layer. So now we understand why transport layer is called as a heart of OSI model. Next thing, they might be asking you a question based on transport layer, that why which layer is called as a heart of OSI model, and why it is called as a heart of a OSI model. So you have to mention all these points in your answer. Next layer is session layer. Session layer is fifth layer. It is responsible for establishment of connection, maintenance of sessions, authentications, and ensures the security. It helps us to ensure security. Second thing, authentication. Next thing, maintain sessions and connection. So all things that now we are learning are based on the software part. The functions of sessions layer are session establishment, maintain, and termination. Layer allows to process of establishment, use the terminate a connection, use, establish, use, and terminate the connection. These all things are done in the session layer only. Next thing, synchronization, maintaining a synchronization with the help of adding a checkpoints. Maintaining a synchronization between the data packets or data points by adding a checkpoints. This is also done with the help of session layer. Next is dialog control. This session layer allows two systems to start communication with each other with the help of half duplex or a full duplex. As I earlier told you that layer is responsible for using a transmission modes. The transmission modes are simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. So that this is the layer, session layer is responsible for having a dialog control. Okay. Next, our sixth layer. Sixth layer is nothing but the presentation layer. As name suggests, it helps us to present the data. How it can help us to present a data? It helps us to translate a layer. Actually, what data is going to be used in the receiver side, that data is actually manipulated in the presentation layer. The function of presentation layer that they can translate the message. For example, ASCII values. If I want to know the ASCII value of A, ASCII value of B, then it can be possible in the presentation layer. So the functions of presentation layers are, it helps us to translate the messages. Encryption and decryption is also possible in presentation layer. I think you all know what is encryption and decryption. When we create a data into a coded form, we call it as a encrypted form. Data should be in the encrypted form, means it is in a coded form, and data is in plain text or a simple known text, then it is nothing but a decrypted mode or decrypted data. So encryption and decryption is possible in the presentation layer. And the most important thing or the most important function of a presentation layer is compression. Reduction of a bit is also possible in the presentation layer, which is very important while working on the content. Okay, so last but not the least, our important layer, well-known layer is application layer. It is nothing but the seventh layer of OSI model. It is a top layer of OSI model, and application layer is implemented by the network application. It is work on totally on applications. These applications produce the data which has to be transferred over the network. Obviously, we use our apps to convert our data, use our data, manipulate our data. This layer also serves a window for application services to access the network. These are the important features of this layer. Next thing, what type of functions they are going to be work. So network virtual terminals are used in the application layer for helping us. Second thing, file transfer, access and management is done in the application layer. Mail services are used in the application layer. Directory services are used in the application layer. All applications, those are provided with the help of operating system. Those are work with the help of application layers only. So today we learned 7 layers of OSI model. So let's conclude the layers. I just overview you what is OSI model is. Again, what is full form of OSI model? Open System Interconnection Model or a reference model. You may call it as like that only. Second thing, there are 7 layers in the OSI model. OSI model is developed by ISO. Okay. Then under the 7 layers, below 3 layers are the hardware layers. Those are physical layer, data link layer and network layer. Above 3 layers are the software layers. Those are session layer, presentation layer and application layer. And the middle layer, which is the transport layer, is a heart of a OSI model. Okay. So as we learned in the last lecture, that physical layer, data link layer and network layer is responsible for hardware connectivity of a network. So under that we learned that physical layer is responsible for bit-to-bit transmission, data link layer is responsible for framing, network layer is responsible for routing the packets from sender to receiver side. Next, transport layer. For today's lecture we learn about the transport layer. Transport layer is responsible for sending packets or a delivery of message end to end. Okay, segmentation is possible, reassembling is possible, service point address is attached to it. Okay. Next thing, session layer. Session layer is help us to maintain a session, authentication and security. The functions of session layers are it maintain, terminate and establish a session. Next, synchronize, maintain a synchronization between the dialogues and dialogue control. Next layer, which is presentation layer. Presentation layer help us to translate. It is also called as a translation layer. Okay. It helps us to translate. Then encryption and decryption is possible in this layer, and the most important function of this layer is compression. Next, the application layer. Application layer is implemented by network applications. Applications those are work in the network. Okay, it also serves a window for application services to access the network. Functions are, it helps us to give file transfer access, then mail services, then directory services are provided by the application layer. So this is nothing but your OSI model, which is very important topic in your syllabus, and most you are supposed to learn it very thoroughly for your future also. Okay, thank you.